Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about, are you able to be a multimillionaire? A lot of people think this is just something, a matter of income or winning the lottery or getting some big increase. That's all it takes to be a multimillionaire. But there is really a fundamental difference in the way a multimillionaire looks at life, looks at business, looks at opportunities, looks at money compared to an average person. If they did the same things, they both have the same amount of money. But they don't do the same things. They don't approach things the same way, and they don't get the same results. Now, people will fault this as the government makes it easier for the rich or this and that, but a lot of those rich people didn't start out rich. So they had to go to the same obstacles and hurdles and issues that you're going to have to in order to get to that point. But they did it. Now, the fundamental difference, besides obviously the money, is the mindset, the vibrational state they're operating in when it comes to money. They don't approach money the same way. There's a different approach to life when you're doing very well financially. And it happens before you are doing very well financially. It's like that old saying, a man was asked who become very successful and had millions of dollars and asked, when did he become a millionaire? And he said, when he was sleeping on park benches, he was already a millionaire. Because in his mind, he was already in that state. He was already expecting that and believing for that and operating in that, even when he had nothing. And that's a very different mindset to have. You should think of yourself as a multimillionaire, even if you have one penny to your name. I'm not telling you to go out and lie to people or tell them you have millions of dollars when you have 10 cents in the bank. The point is about how you feel about yourself, how you operate, and how you think. Jesus gave us this very important outline for how to get everything you want in life. He started it by saying this: have faith in God. That's your foundation. If you don't do that, if your faith's in the universe or in some other man or whatever, it's going to lead to disaster. The universe is a created thing by God. It's not God. So if you're praying to the universe or believing for the universe to do something for you, you're in error. But the foundation is you have your faith in God. You have the faith of God. And then you can be the person who says unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast in the sea, and shall not doubt in your heart, but shall believe those things which you say shall come to pass. You'll have whatsoever you say. Even up to the point of casting a mountain aside, telling it to be removed, and it will be removed. Now, my friend, that's a different mindset. That's a totally different vibrational state than most people are operating in. And I'll tell you something, you can win the lottery, which is oftentimes many poor people's only real hope for money in this life, which is foolish because it's not the only hope, but it's the only thing they have hope in. But even if many of those people will win the lottery, let's say they win millions, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, it doesn't matter what the amount is, in a very short period of time, they will be back to where they were, and actually in a worse position because of the influx of money. They were able to get more credit and able to go even into more debt. So they'll end up with nothing plus millions of dollars in debt. And they'll get their house foreclosed on, they'll get their cars sold. It'll be a disaster. And it happens over and over again with lottery winners. Now, why is that? Because they were not able to be a multimillionaire. The money wasn't the hindrance. It was their mindset, their vibrational state. The way they approached life was completely wrong. The fact they were even putting all their hope in the lottery in the first place shows you they weren't ready to be a multimillionaire. Because that's not what multimillionaires do. Multimillionaires are looking for business opportunities. They're looking for investment opportunities. They're not looking for freebies and hope I can get some money from this lottery win. And so you have to dramatically change your mindset and be one of faith, knowing that you'll have whatsoever you say. Your faith is in God, and you can boldly decree a thing and see it be established unto you. You can speak forth the oracles of God. You can get what you say. This is not a popular teaching today because people, oh, that's name it and claim it, that's blab it and grab it, that's this and that. They don't like it because they look at their own lives and they see the results of it. The negative, the doom and gloom, the nastiness, the babbling about the news and the fear of the day. And that's what their life exhibits. And they don't like the implications of the fact that they are getting what they've said. See, that's the powerful thing about this passage is Jesus isn't just saying in Mark chapter 11 that if you're believing for something right, you're believing for something good, you'll have whatsoever you say. No, he says if you believe and you don't doubt in your heart, you believe those things you say are going to come to pass, you'll have whatsoever you say. And that's what happens to many people. Their faith is not in God. It's in fear, it's in doubt, it's in the world, it's in the news, it's in whatever. And it's in doom and gloom. And so they speak that forth, they believe for that, they decree that, and that's what they see in their lives. But instead of recognizing the cause of it, they just think, well, that's just the way life is. Because they've been just speaking what they believe life is. They haven't been speaking forth things they want. They've been speaking forth things they don't want, that they expect to be happening. But because their faith is in that, in believing for that, they speak it, they get it. But if they change their mind, if they really operate in that state of believing, in that high vibrational state, believing that they are going to receive good in life, that God's goodness is freely flowing to them, that His infinite abundance is opened to them, that they are receiving more and more each and every day, that every day their net worth is going up and up and up, that they're able to give and be more of a blessing to more people. If they were really operating in that and believing for the riches and blessing of God, that the blessing of the Lord makes rich and He has no sorrow with it, if they were operating in that, they wouldn't have the life they're having. They wouldn't be those people who win the lottery and then in a few years it's all gone and they're in a worse position than when they started. My friend, we live in an infinite universe. God has set up the bounds of our habitation with tremendous amounts of blessings available to you each and every day. I don't care where you live. There's people talking about, well, what about somebody in the jungles in Africa? What about them? There's an abundance for them too. Now, whether they recognize it or not, it's a completely different issue. It doesn't even matter. As a matter of fact, there are big corporations going all over the place, all over Africa and all over different places where there's big, huge jungles, harvesting the resources because there's such an abundance. So no, there's no lack. And if there is a lack, if you happen to live in the desert and there's no water around, go to a place where there's water. Why set yourself up there? See, some of this stuff is people aren't receiving what they want. They aren't getting the blessings of God in their life because they're sabotaging themselves. I don't understand why I'm not getting a raise at work. Well, why are you so nasty to everybody? Maybe be a pleasant person and do your job in a pleasing way that really exhibits the value you add to that company, and you'll get a raise. But you sabotage yourself by being mad and angry that you're not getting a raise, that you have guaranteed yourself to never get the raise. And this happens in all kinds of areas of life. I don't understand why people don't like me. Well, are you friendly to them? Well, you know, they don't seem to approach me. Are you approaching them? It's like you can't expect to get something back from somebody else that you won't even do yourself. And in life, if you want to be that multimillionaire, you want to be that person of great abundance, you have to believe that you're that person. You have to speak the words of that person. Like I said, I'm not telling you to go tell people that you are a multimillionaire. It's not about that. But a multimillionaire, we speak differently. Think of yourself. Put yourself in that position. How am I speaking as a multimillionaire? What would you say? And say it. If somebody approaches you and there's something that you don't have the money to buy, are you going to say, I can't afford that? Or are you going to say, I don't need that right now? And just leave it at that. And move on. Are you going to speak forth the words of the multimillionaire and the one who believes that they've received. They believe that what they say is going to come to pass. Now, this applies to anything. It's not just money. Money is a big issue because it affects so many areas of life. And for many people, the main problems in their lives all go back to that issue of money or lack thereof. So it can solve a lot of people's problems. But money's not the solution. The solution is you becoming the person of character and substance who can receive that money, who is walking in that abundance already before you've received it. And so when you do get it, it doesn't get all wasted. It doesn't go to frivolous things. You're not out buying a bunch of cars and houses because you've never had them before and you're trying to impress other people. You just live and buy what you want. You do the things you want to do. You don't have to have anything. You can live in a tent if that's what you want. You just live the way you want to live because you're operating by the faith of God. And you know that abundance is freely available to you. You're generous, you're kind, you're compassionate. You're happy to give. Being wise, of course, because you don't want to be a foolish person just throwing money at all kinds of things, because some of those charities actually cause more harm than good. That's a whole other issue I don't even want to get into right now, but you got to be very wise about that and prayerful in your consideration about where you're giving. But you can give, and you can give in abundance because you have enough and you're always walking in that abundance, and you know yourself to be that multimillionaire even before you have even another dollar to your name. My friend, you can be that person, believing that they have, believing they received what they said, walking in that each and every day, operating as that person of character and substance that you want to be. And my friend, you will see as time goes on, you will have whatsoever you say. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.